Welcome to the Pharma Sales and Tech Podcast. Tune in to stay informed, inspired, and connected with the world of pharma sales.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we have me as the co-producer of the Pharma Marketing and Sales Podcast. We talk about sales efficiency, pharma leaders, and people who make pharma life better. And I have a wonderful guest today. His name is Gabriel Garza. He works for Doctor. Gabriel, can you tell me a bit more about what you do and how you help pharma?
Yes, thank you. Great to be here. So Doctor has several main business lines, and we are engaged in a tourism, work benefit business line, and the technology side business line. And we realized during the years working that we're able to generate some that is very useful to pharma. For example, on the tourism side, everything changes from country to country. So when you are talking about tourists, the doctors have experience with different, for example, medication compositions, names, brands, all kinds of different treatments that need to have an equivalent, that need to be able to give them where they are, the medication. That is one side. With that, we get a lot of information from patients. And we realized that we could work with pharma. We are engaging in a project right now that is in Latin America with a pharma company in a chronic disease industry. We want to engage people in prevention. We want via telemedicine and get all the information we can to bring back to pharma so they can make all kinds of adjustments on their side, right? Commercial adjustments, formula adjustments. They can now find the information about how the Latin American type is, for example, react to some treatment, some medicine, etc. We are about to engage in some countries in Latin America, and we hope to, with this, to bring the information that normally companies are relying on, for example, the European or the American information that not always is necessarily the right one for the location, right?
Basically, your goal is helping pharma get more data about their HCPs, about their clients, right?
About the clients, about the market, about their formulas, about all kinds of information that normally you can get via, for example, a retrospective study. But the traditional way is you need to, number one, find the clinics, find the practitioners, find everyone, make your population. Then you need to send people to take a look at the electronic health records. No, not always they are electronic. So you need to go in the paper, take all the data, and you need to organize it and everything. So that takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. And what we want to do is with telemedicine and digital tools, the different digital tools we engage in, electronic health records, prescriptions, electronic prescriptions, and all our business allies and partners that are in the medical sector, that information can get centralized and get processed and can be very useful for pharma in a lot of ways. So what we want is to start little by little, bringing that digital component of the normally retrospect studies, make it easier, make it faster, and can go broader.
Would you say that this is the way how pharma companies, well, in particular, get sales and sales efficiency managers, right, in a pharma company can improve their analytics, the data they get from the market, so it would help them basically become more sales efficient? What are they using right now? Like you were saying about like certain scenarios that they were using before. What was before? Like how does your solution do whatever, like help sales efficiency manager and sales? And how was it before? Like what were usually using sales?
On the pharma side, well, we are on the medical side that is starting to merge with pharma, right? In that way. So, but on the pharma side, I think that before there were a lot of different teams and companies engaged in bringing this information, but it was like each country, each location was separated. They needed a team, a physical team, go to the field and talk to the doctors and get the information. And all of that took a lot of time. There were some margin of error. Internally was processed and they normally relied on information from other locations. So they were kind of guessing. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but to get that information from the market is hard. So Pharma has different teams, has the marketing team, has the sales team. And here we are talking that information for all of those areas in the company can be now in the same, for example, a big repository data link, and all company can access different location almost in real time and get that information. So they can be as updated as they want, and they do not need to do those efforts every 2 years, every 5 years. And with that, the marketing department can be right away on top of the solution. So I think we're bringing some things that are more practical, faster, more accurate, more centralized.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense. I have a question. Have you seen specific examples of some successful sales strategies implemented with the use of data in, let's say, in pharma?
Well, yes. For example, the use of data that gets collected online, they have some, even with some show intelligence, with some questionnaires or with some other tactics they use to engage the patients. You can get not only the patient, for example, to start their health journey, the general practitioner, and to advance it to in more specialized areas as they go. So that is one thing. But at the same time, that data goes to pharma and they have the information about, for example, the practitioner, the person, and they now can target that practitioner as they normally do. They approach them and the sales part and all of that. But that data, they didn't have it, and they used for example, an artificial intelligence and a little directory they can create to link both and to target both, for example.
So that definitely helps them. Okay. Yes. How do you approach and manage customer relationships when it comes to the pharma? Because, it's highly regulated. Is there any particular way?
Well, there are, for example, a lot of processes, steps that need to be followed. When you start a project, normally we see it as projects. So it's a project management methodology. And in that, also the pharma company, for example, brings all the different areas you need to qualify. So you need to go through compliance, you need to go to processes, quality, and there are a lot of steps in order to achieve. So normally when you start with something, with an idea, along the way, each area will modify it a little bit. So you need to be flexible in order to navigate through all the process, right? So it takes time, a lot of time, because as a project management methodology, you need to plan everything. In big pharma and in big projects, budget is very important. Quality assurance is very important. And the same pharma is very regulated. So in some countries in the project we are in, for example, telemedicine, can sell to a doctor any components, any formulas, or any products. In some others, we cannot. You need to charge some amount. For example, pharma companies cannot give some regulations about what they can do and what they can give. And for example, as samples or something to general practitioners. So we need to take into account the local restrictions, law, legislation, but also the internal policies. So I guess the only thing here is you need to be able to adapt, to know that you're going to go through all those hoops and have patience, because it takes time. It's not always, as a startup, for example, we are used to everything is bigger, it's faster. We can adapt because we're a small team, we're growing. But in a pharma company, it's very big, it's more slow. You need to go to a lot of different steps to assure a lot of things that normally, for example, us as in the medical field, we do not really care because, for example, doctors need to prescribe, need to do a treatment and everything. But on the pharma side, with the relationship with the doctors and the patient, there is a lot of regulation. So we need to take that.
Okay, cool. So you spoke a bit about the challenges. What are the challenges that pharma reps face in the sales process, and how do you think they can overcome those?
Well, how we can up the sales, it's always a matter of creativity. So I think we are hoping to change a little bit that mindset, the traditional mindset. For example, turning consultation data into marketing. So it's going beyond the normal access to data you have. So you have now more access. You need to tailor it. So I think that is going to be the challenge, to really tailor your data and go as further as you can on the line, get as more information as you can, because pharma can make adjustments on behavior. A lot of things that normally they don't have access, but the medical side has. So I think the relationship medical and pharma going digital is going to expand all of that. I'm making the point here.
Yes, yeah, you are, of course. I would add to this that, Look, Platforce is the CRM and sales. So what we see, the challenges that the sales reps were facing, especially about during the COVID times, right? We're not able to see all the doctors. Doctors were at different places at different times. And it was always like a one-to-many sort of conversation. You could go to a doctor's conference or like cardiologist conference and try to speak there and then get them. I think digital has made a big step in the Corona times, digital for pharma, because you can use all these like omnichannel messaging. You have solutions like such as your telesales solution, where when you can speak not only one-to-one, but you can speak one-to-many, one sales rep to multiple doctors, and you can make it like, online. It's safe, it's secure, no information will get out. And, doctors can easily inform sales reps about the doubts they have about the medicine or certain questions and answers. And that's very good because, for example, using a TLM, a closed loop marketing solution, for example, like Platforce, you can also see what are your doctors looking at. Like, are they actually interested in the product you're selling? Or they're just like swiping, You can understand.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Is my messaging good on the presentations that I have? Is it hitting the right market? You were saying about the differences between the Latin market in Latin America and Europe and the US. Different market, you need a different strategy, you need a different prioritization, you need to adapt, different adaptation. Would you agree or
Yes, I will agree. And I will go a little further because normally the relationship is pharma doctors, sales with some doctors, but also when you give the doctor the digital tools, it's not only about their own as the usual customers, they can now expand abroad and beyond their physical and regional too. So we're also buying data. And the channel is now not only pharma doctor, but it's pharma doctor patient. You can go directly to patient and get information directly from patient, knowing what is the channel to what doctor, for example, every patient is going through. You can start looking at different behaviors and different trends and different data that you can use them to improve on the commercial part.
Yep. And are there any tips? How would you, like, from what you see, what are the latest industry and technology trends and advancement in the pharma field, like say business pharma?
Well, in the technology and digital part, I guess artificial intelligence will be something that is going to be very useful. I think another challenge is to predict predictive models. So artificial intelligence will be part of an important part of that process, but also the interoperability of the data between different industries, because the data not always generated as we think in the place we think have also been generated abroad. So I think that's where artificial intelligence will go and link different data sets that are available for them. And in the interoperability of the information will also be very important in order to give sense to all that data in order to predict. So what are they going to be consuming? How are they going to be reacting? How are the adjustments to the new product, to everything? So I guess we will be going on a long way of digital solutions and data-driven solutions linked to the new artificial intelligences that are available now.
I'm actually wondering, maybe you've heard about ChatGPT. I'm wondering if there is anyone in pharma looking over how would they implement ChatGPT into their existing workflows and existing process. For example, I've seen a case with a SaaS company. They have this software called Zendesk. Basically, they have a very big frequently asked questions, and they've reworked those. They've fed those to ChatGPT, and they've used that for a more conversational sort of model for their product. And it was very successful because their products were very complicated and people are lazy. So people would go actually talk to this bot, FAQ bot, and then the bot would give the information already and already in details. And so they've increased their engagement and with a lot of points, and they've decreased their support time as well. So they've taken less work for their support to work. So I'm wondering whether maybe anyone in pharma.
I think it's being approached. We are experimenting all the industries with GPT now that it's available. And I guess the normal path is just making questions to the artificial intelligence, and then you start to get better. So I think we're going to see some, example, special departments or areas in the companies only for that. And we will have a lot of specialized personnel on how to search and link information with artificial intelligence. So I think the question here is to make the correct questions to the artificial intelligence and give them the sufficient background information. And afterwards, you can select even the tone you wanted to receive the information. So you can, as you said, you can have it as professional as you want or as simple as you want. So we will be able in the future to integrate the company tone and voice, because each company has a way of communicating that is part of its image, of its brand. And I think we will be able to tailor that to make it even more the brand. So it's a great example of what we can start doing as Pharma and start getting information from final births, being doctors or patients with a broader reach. So we can now get access from around the world information. So it's very interesting to have that to complete the genotype of each location easier with more information that we are now able to have it. So it's great. I think artificial intelligence, GPT, and other solutions, because now we have Microsoft and we have Google are announcing their
Bard,
Yes, Bard. And they're the first ones. You will see Meta doing the same thing. We will see the big one, I think, releasing all those types of tools. So from that point onward, it will be just to refine it, specialize it in each industry. Great, I think.
Yeah, I agree. What started with some time ago with chatbots from, say, Drift or Intercom, where, people could interact with the bot and then easily solve their questions. I think this this time is coming, but we have way too much information, and just going through Google it's a daunting task, right? So like when you look for something to Google, especially if it's some sort of specific business information, you want to have a quick answer. And I think we'll see more of like this sort of conversational intelligence tool come up. And certainly, I think one improvement, one innovation that I've seen for the past years is, for example, in the SaaS world, there are tools such as called intelligence tools, such as, I think the name of the company is Wora or something, where you basically, after you have the conversation with the doctor, based on the interaction, artificial intelligence will give you some information about who spoke, what words did they use, and all of that data gets into sort of a repository. So you have analytics about how well your sales reps are doing. That's if you have that in your tool, if you have such a feature, that's something certainly that the pharma will.
That is also highly regulated, because I think that one of the other challenges that goes with all the information. So some of the efforts need to be, for example, we anonymize the data. It cannot be linked to a specific person or anything. So that is part of what we bring to the solution and to a big repository. The information can be crossed in a lot of ways with a business intelligence tool. So I guess some of the big challenges are going to be also in the privacy side of the information, because we can access a lot of data, but not all of it is needed, and not all of it is publicly free available. We need to get as much information as we can or link as much information as we can with as little information that we get, because the information is limited on what you can get with and compliance with the private legislation. That is going to be a big challenge that we are going all over. All the industries, the medical, the pharma industry, need to be lived with, because information, what we're seeking, and medical information, pharma information, a lot of it is protected and it's private. So we need to have and know how to make use of it.
I have basically my last question to you, Gabriel. What would you advise, let's say, to a sales leader in a pharma company? Let's say they're trying to drive innovation in their company, new tools such as telemedicine and on. What would you advise them?
Well, you need to give technology a chance, because sometimes we are very reluctant and giving a chance to something that might seem risky, that might seem a little bit off of what we're used to. So my advice is technology can be used to improve sales. In the creative side, maybe, for example, or the activity of your customer into an activity that serves you through a digital tool. You need to give chance to solutions that sometimes seem that do not go with the flow. I don't know, correct, because sometimes you need to take a tool and use it in another way with another focus to improve it. That is why startups are bringing that part to the industry, and pharma needs to interact a little bit more. Sales teams, marketing teams need to interact a little bit more with some digital solutions that they normally not have in the radar. Give them a chance, listen to them, and listen what they can bring to the table, and work together.
Amazing. Thank you, Gabriel, for this podcast. Thank you for your wonderful advice. Please write down Gabriel Garza, company is doctor. So if you guys are looking for telemedicine, then please check out Gabriel. Thank you so much for this episode, and it was a pleasure. Thank you, Gabriel.
Thank you, Stefan. It was a pleasure being here.